This is the new BMW S1000R. The new BMW S1000R comes with a fresh new engine, chassis, brakes, and tech over the previous generation. The new narrower and 11 pounds lighter S1000RR derived engine is installed minus the new shift cam feature along with a 26 pound weight reduction from the new narrower flex frame chassis. The BMW S1000R features a 46mm upside-down fully adjustable front fork with 119mm of travel. It is equipped with an aluminum swing arm and a rear-linked monoshock that is fully adjustable and has 117mm of travel. Both ends are controlled by BMW's DDC or Dynamic Damping Control System. The BMW S1000R is powered by a 999cc double overhead cam with 16 valves, water and oil-cooled, fuel-injected engine that puts out 165 horsepower at 11,000 RPM and a maximum torque rating of 84 foot-pounds at 9,250 RPM. The transmission is a 6-speed synchro mesh with multi-disc anti-hopping and self-reinforcement clutch. It is equipped with an up and down quick shifter with auto blipper. Front sprocket is 17 teeth and rear is 45 with a 525 chain. The BMW S1000R is equipped with 3 riding modes, Rain, Road, and Dynamic. It is also equipped with a 6-axis IMU that includes ABS Pro and DTC. It is also equipped with a full TFT dash with connectivity, and the handlebar position is adjustable. The electronics package include the Dynamic Damper Control, Ride Modes Pro, which includes Dynamic Pro with adjustable wheel control, HSC Pro, MSR, DBC, Shift Assist Pro, Headlights Pro, which adds adaptive cornering light, and TPMS, which serves as your tire pressure monitor. And now it's time to ride. Alright, so now we're up the mountain, taking this baby up for a clean run. Up in the twisties, I feel that it lacks a little bit of power down in the first and second gears. I think the electronics is doing a little something with it, so as to make it safer, because this bike has a lot of power, it kind of pedals the power down in those gears so that it's not on full-on brutal attack when you're down in first and second. And cornering wise, it's very good, it handles very well, it's very predictable. It does everything very well. It may lack a little bit of character, but it's really great. Handles well. I'm sure I can be fast in the racetrack with this bike. Although I just feel that it's just being dropped a little bit too much of power down in the first and second gears. But yeah, it's pretty fast enough. It's really, really fast, actually, faster than most bikes out there. And it does everything so well. It feels so relaxed, and I love it. Well, it's not as aggressive as the other Euro Super Nakeds. In fact, I feel that down low, it's a little bit down on power on the lower revs, especially in first and second. But I think also in third, I can feel it. It feels almost like a 600 down there. In the lower revs, but once you get up on the higher revs like 8,000 and up, it explodes with power. But it's very controllable, it's very friendly. I think it's a very forgiving motorcycle. Unlike its peers that are more aggressive, this one will keep you safe, I would say, while doing a very good job. of carving mountains or canyons. I'm right here on the tail of MT10 SP and a Multistrada V4, one of the top spec ones, I guess, and it's being ridden by really good, very good riders. Actually, one of them is a legendary rider. I wouldn't mention his name, but he's one of the greats, and as you can see, he's just toying with us, playing around. But the BMW S1000R doesn't have any problems sticking with them. It's a very easy bike to ride. It wouldn't scare even newer riders, and it would be very forgiving, and it would be very rewarding for more experienced riders. Let's do a quick sound check. It's basically a stripped down S1000R without the shift cam and stripped out of its fairings. So it's a super naked, well, it's a sport naked, 1000cc. It has its own proprietary brakes, no longer Brembos for the BMWs. Alright, it's a very good handling bike. It's very predictable, it's very stable. It lacks a little bit of that Euro character from the V4s and triples of the other brands, but it's a very reliable bike. It's a German engineered motorcycle. As all of you know, BMW is very good engineering firm, and this is a well-built bike. The TFT dash, I find, is one of the best in the market. Actually, it displays everything so clearly, and all the details are there, and it's easily accessible with the jog dial and the other switch gears. Alright, so about the rider modes, you can set it to rain, road, dynamic, and dynamic pro. So if you're on the track, you're ripping it out on the track, it's best to do dynamic pro. Okay, for the suspension settings, you have road and dynamic, and you can set it to have a pillion rider or without. So everything's automatic. It's the suspension is automated. You can set it with just the flick of a switch on your left hand switch gear, and the rider mode you can adjust with your right hand switch gear with just a press of one button. So it's very easily customizable. Even while riding, you can set it to whatever settings you want. So if you're on, if it's raining, if it's slippery, best to put it on rain mode. And then for me personally, if I'm just out here on the street, it's either road or dynamic. But even in Marilake, I chose to use the road setting because it's all you need. You don't really need anything more than that because it's already a powerful bike. So yeah, overall, the BMW S1000R is a very good bike. It's a very predictable, very fine handling. It's a very easy to use bike. Although I find that the riding position is a little bit aggressive for my taste for road bike. All right, the bars are set a little bit too low and a little bit far forward for me. And another thing that I find that that's not to my taste is the gear shift lever. It's a little bit too far for someone with a 8.5 or a 42 euro size boot. It's a little bit too far of a reach to reach that shifter. I wish that they could adjust it a little bit closer, just a little bit, And also the quick shifter is not as smooth as those on the other brands. I would expect something better from BMW. Sometimes it gets caught up, especially in fourth gear. It's hard to shift down from fourth gear sometimes with the auto blipper. Shifting up, it's a little bit too hard to shift, unlike with the other bikes wherein it's really buttery smooth and light actuation. This one is a little bit harder. You really need to get some muscle in there to shift the gears, but overall the suspension is great. The chassis is great. Of course, BMW knows how to build their chassis. It's a very fast bike, very easy to ride, and let me show you. I'm a 5'6" with a 31-inch inseam. I don't know if you can see it, but I can put both toes down on the pavement. It's not that hard because it's a light bike. It's not that hard to move around. Alright, so if you need a sporty bike and you're not too tall, this is one bike that's this is a good choice for a bike. Alright, but then the reach to the bars and the height of the bar is a little bit too low for much comfort. It's not that bad. You can still tour in it, you can still use it for daily rides, but it's a little bit too sporty and aggressive for me, because maybe that's because I have short limbs and the bars are too far off for me to reach. Alright, overall it's a really good bike and I love it. It's a really good one. Thank you. The good things about the BMW S1000R is the fueling. The fueling is very precise. You can really feel what the rear tire is doing while you're on throttle. It's very direct. I really like that about the bike. Also the suspension, since it's a dynamic suspension, electronic, it adjusts itself to your riding situation and your riding style, and it's very easy to use. The brakes are great. The ABS is not so intrusive. I didn't feel it come on even when braking hard up in the mountains. That sound, that inline 4 sound, is very raspy. I like it. Although it's not as characterful as with the other brands, with the other Euro brands. This one feels more clinical and more sterile. It lacks a little bit of character when you compare it to the V4s and triples of the other brands. But it's a very well built bike, very well engineered, and of course you can rely on BMW to be very reliable. One thing that I would have wished for BMW to have done, which I think they did already for the M1000R, is to replace that brake master, front brake master, with something that has a remote reservoir, a radially mounted brake master, because this one's still conventionally mounted brake master. So if I think they came out with that now with the M1000R, but that costs more. The tires are Pirelli Rosso 2s. The tires are the sizes are 120 in the front and 190 at the rear. 190/55. That's 120/70. And Pirelli Rosso 2s, they're really good for mountain carving if you're doing performance riding on the street. But for the track, I would suggest that you would replace it with Super Corsas. Okay. So the engine, even without the shift cam of the S1000RR, it's still very good. It's more than enough power that you can use on the road. Of course, with the naked bike, you're not really going racing with it unless you join the super naked class, the naked class. But generally speaking, the power is more than enough. You can't use all of it on the road. So it's very powerful even without that shift cam. Really good one. Thank you, BMW. This has been John Mendoza for C Magazine and Wheel2Wheel. See you on the next ride.